So we take it away. We now insert the auxiliary contact here. How do we put it? Take away here and fixing one here. So before energizing this, you have to go here and interlock before coming back here. So the same thing applies here. Interlock K2 here. Remember that this is K1. This K1, before you energize K1, you go to K2 and come out. And that is why we have K2 here. Now this K2, before you energize it, you go to K1 and before coming back. That is why I have K1 here. I think that is clear. Now we are done with this. Now we want to come over to a logic of the inverter. Like I told you, basically they are the same logic. So what we are going to do is to duplicate this logic here. Is to duplicate this logic and put it here again. Let's shift this. Take this one up. Then we're going to duplicate what we have here. And put it here. Okay. So this logic now is for our inverter. Okay, this is for our inverter. Now, pay attention please. This is our inverter system. We don't need this timer. We don't need this timer because inverter system has regulator, has all the associated safety that we need before you have output on inverter. Inverter has it already. Okay, inverter has it already. So if you decide to save your cost, you take away this timer. If you want to make your job uniform, you can leave it. Okay, you can leave it. But what you're going to do is maybe you reduce the time. Maybe you reduce it to 2 seconds. I don't want you to have the feelings that your design is complex. So I'm going to leave it this way. Okay, I'm going to leave it this way. The reason why I want to leave it the way it is, supposing your inverter go bad, and the end user decided to get a smaller generator, please listen to this voice note. I said, I want you to leave this logic the way it is with the rest of the logic. Don't alter the timer. Don't subtract anything. Leave it the way it is. Because in future, when the inverter go bad and the end user is not able to replace the inverter or to fix the inverter, he might decide to bring in Gen 2. He might decide to bring in another gen, maybe a smaller gen, to alternate this other gen. So because of that now, the ATS will also be alternating that second gen. So they're going to just take away inverter supply here and replace it with a gen set. So you don't need to make any alteration on your ATS. ATS will just take over the second gen. So the logic here will take over the second gen. You now have gen 1, gen 2. So leave this logic the way it is. Don't take away the timer. It's all right. So what you need to do again now, and it's very important, to choose which one of these three alternate power, which one of this source of power I want to make a priority. You are going to decide that with the end user. End user will have to choose which of the source of power I want to prioritize. I want to make it prime source, that it must be available and knock off the rest of the source of power. Unless if that one is not available, that is the only means that any of the other two can come in. So you have to choose. If you want to choose inverter, you choose it. If you want to choose your standby, you can choose. The means one, the only reason you can make your genset your prime power is when your utility bill is outrageous. When you begin to experience outrageous bill from your utility, you can now decide to make your standby the source of power. Okay, or when your utility is extremely low, it does not carry your load. Your utility, your location where you are staying, your transformer is very bad. So the voltage is very low. Okay, so it doesn't carry anything apart from lighting system. It doesn't carry any of your appliance. So because of that, you make your genset a prime source, or you make your inverter a prime source. So which one we need now to pick up as our prime source? So I want us to still maintain utility to be our prime source. But whatever thing that I infected on this utility, you're going to take note of that so that when designing and the end user decide to do otherwise, to choose any of these, to choose among these two, which one is going to be prime power. So whatever thing adjustment I do here, you're going to take that same process to make your adjustment here and pick the prime power here. So if I'm going to choose this as my prime source of power, this is the process to go. Now come to the standby here. I have a relay here, arrow 1. I have a relay here, arrow 1. So what I'm going to do now is to disable this place and fix a relay contact. And that relay contact is coming from mains. It's coming from here. This is arrow 1 belonging to mains. So I will put arrow 1 contact here because it's my priority line. Is the one that is going to give a permission for this. So when this one come active, here will open. Once here open, this power will go off. This one take over. So I'm going to do that here again. I'm going to put another contact again.